Well, that's a very good thing for the memorial.
Well, it is, because you've campaigned tirelessly, and you continue to do so, to make sure that it is not forgotten, and that the men you fought alongside, who died alongside you, are not forgotten.
Well, what a waste of life, really. I was deeply moved when they sent me the brochure for this marvellous memorial on Gold Beach where I landed. And I told my wife I must get some money. So I did, and I've been doing it in the market in St Austell and in the town of St Austell. And it's a privilege for me to do that. And you know, when I'm doing this collection, I get a wonderful calm comes over me, because I'm doing something for the boys that never came back. What a terrible waste of life. Young men 18, all taught by our lovely country how to kill people. And when you've done that, you've got to live with it. Now, I couldn't do that. I couldn't stay in London. I had to get out of London, too much noise. And I had to go down the West Country, where I've been greatly and lovely treated. Everybody loves me in St Austell, and they've been very generous to me. There's no words to describe it. And I would like to thank today, because I might not get another opportunity. I want to thank 2-4 Commando in Shibboleth, Royal Engineers, soldiers, not Royal Marines, soldier commandos. And I'd like to thank my mate, Mr. Dan Newbolt. He got a Bentley, who took me all around the place in his Bentley, lovely heated seat, and he was treating me like a lord. And all the young bloke, Lee, who came from the ferry when I got over from Normandy, took me all the way down in his car to St Austell. And been down to see me several times since, and took me out for the weekend with these lovely men. Another fellow I want to thank, because I thank him every day, he's called Andrew Duff. He lives at Parr. He comes in his car, picks me up every time I go to the market at Parr, and takes me there. At lunchtime he brings me a meal, and he takes me home at 3:30, and he spends an hour with me in my house having a cup of tea. Harry. A wonderful fella, and never made a penny out of it. Always free. And all freely have you received, freely give. When I was a child, about 4-year-old, I used to go to a little Sunday school, and the lady who was the teacher was called Miss Thompson. Now, that's over 90 years ago. But I used to sing a little chorus, and it was apt for the landing on the beach. And we used to sing as kids. From sinking sand, he lifted me. With tender hand, he lifted me. From shades of night to realms of light, oh, praise his name, he lifted me. Now, I never forgot that, and it's a very apt thing for me to remember. If I read something, it's there. I never forget. I'm unable to forget. I can't forget.
Can I ask, Harry, can I ask you a question? That so many people will see like your spirit and, you know, everything that drives you now. When you first came in here just a moment ago, and I'm thinking back to when you met Naga on the beach and you had that moment, the first thing you said to Naga just now was, I owe you an apology.
I do.
Why did you say that?
Well, she's a lovely person. She's very kind, a very good golfer. She's lovely. And I could see, I'm very sensitive, and I could see she was a bit upset when I told her about. Nobody can ever describe D-Day. I've heard a lot of what they call bullshit, and that's true. Nobody was there with any bayonet pressing up the sand for mines. The SAS blokes was there. Get off the beach, get off the beach. No one was on the beach, no longer they could help. And the fellas that was wounded even got up and got out of it to get to shelter. So I'm not a brave man. I'm lucky. I owe my life to the boys that I loved. All Normandy veterans love one another beyond the love of women. You cannot describe it. I love them all, and I'll never forget them. I'm going to see an old boy next week. He's called Des Battler. He's about the only bloke still living, and he's in a home. He came from Tarreith, and he was our bloke who used to get all the gear for 21 group of the Normandy veterans, of which I was proud to be chairman.
Harry, you've been, after we had that interview on the beach, so many people watched that interview. It went viral on social media, and you've had lots of attention as well to help you with raising the money you've wanted to for this memorial, to contribute to this memorial. And you began raising, you had a target, didn't you? 22,442.
That's £1 for every bloke that died on that
D-Day. And you reached the target, brilliant, you're well on your way. But what you've been contributing to is a bigger memorial, isn't it? So all the names of those who died could be...
And the extra money we're trying to get is for the education for youngsters.
I want to show you something, because I know it's difficult, isn't it, when you're raising money for something you can't see it. If you look at this big screen over here, we can show you what's been done so far.
Doing it in Northern Ireland, I believe.
At Ville-sur-Mer in Normandy. This is it. This is what you've been raising money towards. And you've never seen this before.
No, never.
How does it make you feel? Because the work you're doing, it's now concrete, it's tangible, it's there, you can touch it.
Marvellous.
How does it feel, Harry? Okay.
Yeah.
It means so much, huh?
I'm all right. Terrible.
Take a moment, Harry, and people will be watching this, watching you full of
can't help
respect
that.
for what you've done.
Yeah, well, I did it. I said a job to do. All these fellas did a good job. All these men, these wonderful men. Young boys are 16, like Jack Banks, he's buried in Jerusalem Cemetery. 16, Durham Light Infantry. There's 48 blokes buried there in Jerusalem. It's on a Villers-Bocage Bayeux Road. They wanted to dig them up and put them into Bayeux, where over 5,000 blokes are buried. But they left, the farmer gave them the field. I'll go there, believe it or not, every day. Somebody says, you want to go to Jerusalem area? Oh, yes. And I get people to take me there. And I lay a cross on all those fellas' graves and a memorial, not every day, but the first time I put a wreath on the crosses there,
Harry,
the memorial.
one of the things you mentioned when you spoke about this memorial is education. And how important it is that it's not forgotten. If you were to give a message to young people today, when it comes to making sure they know the history, but also the lessons learned, what would you say?
Well, there's a lot of youngsters come up to me and give me money for the memorial, but they don't, beyond all comprehension about the D-Day. I hope that they will learn to love one another. There's a lot of hate in the world, a lot of greed, and a lot of that's nonsense. Don't worry about that. When King George VI, my sovereign that I served under, all my medals here at George VI, was a wonderful man. George VI was a kind man, an understanding man. And he used to have a day of prayer. It's a pity, really, we don't have a month of prayer because we've got so much to thank God for. They have got no time for God, and I don't think we shall ever come round. Turn back, O man, forswear thy foolish ways. We've been stupid. We're so clever we could blow one another up. But you don't love one another. That's the strongest thing on earth. Love is stronger than death, and he's coming back. Our Lord Jesus said he'd be back, and he will.
Harry.
And it says in the Revelation, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. And that's what I believe too. I believe it. They mucked about with the creed. The Church of England has mucked about with all the services. They used to be, the Nicene Creed, that's that statement of faith, was drawn up 325 AD in the Council of Nicaea. It's therefore called the Nicene Creed. It starts off with, I believe. They've altered that now to we believe.
We're out of time.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
You know, it's just the
Good
joy.
job, innit? I might get arrested. My wife says to me, you want to be careful.
Harry, it's been a real pleasure,
such a delight.
an honour to have you with us once again. Such a pleasure.
Kind of you.
Thank you.
And you, darling.
Darling.
My mate David Newbold, he's in love with you. He'll take you out in his Bentley.
OK, we'll have a chat about that a little later. Oh, Harry, thank you so
You're
much.
very, very kind.
Thank you for
I hope
coming
I
in.
didn't upset you this time.
You didn't. You've been perfect. Thank you.
It's been lovely.
Stay there. We'll take a little break and then we'll help you offset. It is coming.